very small amount of group really knows about what's happened because it's on FSB, let's say KGB, guys who control him because they really worry about press and they really worry about that could be he could be escaped, and they try to keep it in secret.
The whereabouts of the Russian opposition leader Alexei Navalny has been unknown for 10 days. Allies and friends say he's at risk of being murdered by the Kremlin after vanishing from his prison cell. Concern began on December the 5th when he failed to appear by video link at a court hearing. Evgeny Chichvarkin is an exiled Russian entrepreneur and friend of Alexei Navalny. Evgeny, good morning to you.
Good morning.
Thank you for joining us. So, the information that we have on this is not particularly detailed, but the suggestion is that prison authorities moved him for some reason. Have you got any further information about where and why he was transferred?
We don't know. We talked to family as well, and we really don't know. And unfortunately, in Russia, in this system, they keep in secret all movement of prisoners. The same situation happened with Mikhail Khodorkovsky 15 years ago, and the longest time it was absolutely unknown where is he. It was about 30 days because he was in 3 or 4 different prisons that time, and they move from one prison to another through Moscow. This very strange old system made during Stalin time. And 10 days, it's kind of time that we have to be worried about and talk about that. And probably officials could ask Russia about what's happened to him.
In terms of where he might be and why he might have been moved, how would you describe your sort of level of concern at this point?
Because it's already happened for a few times with Mikhail, I think that's a crucial time, about 10 days, because normally it takes 10 days for them to move prisoners. And everybody talk. But like in the past, they talk, yes, he's been here, but he moved other way, other prison. And I think very small amount of group really knows about what's happened because it's on FSB, let's say KGB, guys who control him because they really worry about press and they really worry about that he could be escaped, and they try to keep it in secret. If he was murdered, probably we know about that because the system is not 100% solid.
Does it matter, Evgeny, where he is held? And I don't mean to be flippant or trivial about that, but his sentence was recently extended. And, you know, the charges clearly are bizarre in so many cases and so many instances of what he is facing. But, in terms of access to him, could that change depending on where he is held? I suppose my question is, what are the consequences of him being moved to somewhere else?
I don't know. They moved from another prison with a very strict regime to another one. If they see that it's a lack of control, or he starts to talk to somebody in the prison that tried to make a relationship or trust, they try to remove that. People who control him don't have any a personal sympathy. And sometimes this system is quite deaf and blind. They move prisoners sometimes many times from prison to prison. It's their logic, their reason. Normal people couldn't understand that. I think the best case scenario, if I don't know, Prime Minister send a letter or or just point this problem like very, very loud in the press, and other world leaders will talk about that.
Yeah.
Because still Putin's regime is dependent of oil and gas money, and there is no other way to pressure Putin that's point the problem.
We understand. Evgeny, we will keep in touch. It is a worrying time. I appreciate that, and therefore appreciate your willingness to speak to us. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
That's Evgeny Chichvarkin, an exiled Russian entrepreneur and friend of Alexei Navalny, who is missing, and his whereabouts are unknown as of 10 days ago. The suggestion there that he may have been moved, but, you know, within these prison systems in Moscow and in Russia, you're simply being moved from one terrible location to one other terrible location. And so the system is kind of deaf and blind to that, is what Evgeny was just telling us. And sometimes prisoners are moved many times. But there is concern because his lawyers haven't been able to contact Alexei Navalny either. So we'll keep you across the details of that as and when they emerge.